Savannah, thank you so much. Justices announcing some major decisions as the Supreme Court's term came to an end.
Those rulings include upholding the right of birthright citizenship
and allowing states to legally ban transgender women and girls from competing on female sports teams. Joining us now, our chief analyst, Khalif Rhodes, to break this down. Khalif, the Supreme Court justices breaking this down exactly how you anticipated they would yesterday there. So I don't need to say, are you shocked by this? This is what you expected. But what's the bigger impact from these?
I think they both will have major impacts. I mean, and so I can't say either one of them was bigger because this isn't the end of the game. Let's start there. And let's start with the first one, right? We're talking about the citizenship, right? Looking at the quote from Chief Justice Roberts, his main quote that jumps off the page to me says, "Citizenship is the right to have rights." And he overemphasizes that when he goes on to say that the citizenship clause means that what it says there, those born in the United States are and subject to its jurisdiction are citizens. There's no need to do a deeper evaluation or go on to try to find any other context. But he says, even if you want to, we can look at the context of how we got here, given the historical nature of the 13th Amendment and the 14th Amendment, to figure out how we got to this point. This is in terms of not deeper impact, but in terms of teaching this is how government works, right? Going back to the Dred Scott decision, a decision that the Supreme Court got wrong during that time, specifically saying that African Americans don't have the right to be citizens in this country. What does Congress do? Congress goes and implements the 14th Amendment. And this is what Justice Clarence Thomas was hanging his hat on, attempting to, which is, I think, a change in his argument for a number of years, which is that the Constitution is colorblind. In every other argument, the Constitution is colorblind. But here, he's specifically attempting to say that, no, the 14th Amendment was only talking about these African Americans and the enslaved individuals at the time, and it doesn't apply to all. Justice Roberts, at his opinion, clearly says, no, that isn't the case, that they were not only saying that enslaved citizens, but all folks, all citizens, all, because if they wanted to say something different, they could have, but they didn't. It specifically says all. Clarence Thomas says that the court departs and misreads their intent. And so I think from a historical context, maybe not the bigger one, but easier to at least teach how government and civics work, that you have Congress doing something, you have the Supreme Court doing something, and then Congress, as they can always do, can go back and write and change the law, and that's what they did.
The other big decision, which again you said you weren't too surprised by this, was allowing states to ban transgender women and girls in competing in female sports teams. Not surprised by that. Will we see any changes? Will we see some of those states still try to fight this? This will be ongoing. It's not the end of it.
Well, it's just like our arguments that we had earlier today when we talk about First Amendment arguments. What they're saying is, have you violated the Constitution by implementing something like this? Not saying that it's right or saying something is wrong. It's saying, has the state, these two states, I should say, West Virginia and Idaho, violated our Constitution, specifically the equal protection? Has it violated Title IX? Have you violated the 14th Amendment? In doing that, have you now trampled on these individuals' rights? And the court said no, specifically that you have to be able to point to that compelling interest. What are they attempting to protect? Do they have a legitimate interest that they're attempting to protect? And if they can articulate what that interest is, and the two states, the court believed that they were able to articulate that, which I suspected that they would, based on the prior court's arguments, that they have not now violated their constitutional rights.
What kind of appeals do you see in either one of those cases? I feel like there might be more grounds for an appeal in the transgender case than perhaps the birthright citizenship one.
A little bit of both. I'll say for sure that when you look at the court's rulings, a number of these things you'll see in the dissents or in the opinions that they'll mention prior court's opinion. One, what Justice Kavanaugh wrote, he talked about how Justice Clarence Thomas 25 years ago brought this up, right? And that the other folks on the court were not inclined to follow his rationale, but now today we are. And so time, I think it's going to help appeals. I think you need great facts. You need a court that's open to wanting to hear it. And so it depends on either one of those. I think this citizen one is not done because the president is saying it's not done. If he is pushing forward with this going forward, then you can most likely believe that there will be another challenge coming.
Real quickly, Khalif, we're out of time. Do you think the challenge will come in appeal for the president of birthright citizenship, or what he asked Congress to do and have them act on it?
I think that Congress will attempt to act. They just don't have the votes.
Right.
But I think the proper way to bring this back, because there is no appeal of a Supreme Court decision, the next step is find a case that fits better into the context of what the court says they need to have happen.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.